My name is Erin Crosby. Practicing yoga, the benefits are truly, truly countless. And in that I mean all the obstacles and hardships that come upon me. It's really taught me how to just take a minute, breathe, process what's going on, and then react and respond. It's taken me from a manner of being way, way more proactive than I ever was before, rather than always reacting to everything.
There's a lot of breathing inside of yoga. Yoga is a facilitation of your breath through postures. And what the breath does is when you breathe in, when you breathe out, it's tied to your nervous system. So whether it's your sympathetic nervous system or parasympathetic nervous system, it depends on what you want to activate. When you're breathing mindfully, there's typically a slower, more drawn out pace. And that is the thing that ties to your parasympathetic nervous system. That is your rest and digest, or rest and relax. So when you're breathing in, if you think of hyperventilating, like that is going to inflate more of that sympathetic. So that is the place where you're in that fight or flight mode, which is a very important thing that we have for good reason. More back in the day when like tigers were chasing you, but now it's like stress of like mortgages and kids and family. But it's important to know that you have that, and your breath is like an anti-stress system hardwired within your body. So when you're breathing, activates a nerve called your vagus nerve. So it's not Sin City. Vagus is the nerve that actually travels down from the base of your skull, down through your throat, through your chest, your lungs, your heart, your viscera. So your viscera is your gut. It's up the central nervous system detectors, and it brings all that information right back up to your brain. So it literally tells your brain what your body is doing. If we didn't have this nerve, we'd find it difficult to speak, breathe, or eat. So it's very important to activate that nerve to our advantage rather than disadvantage. It's very deeply rooted in the anatomy, the physiology, but then also how we use them together to facilitate a little bit more calm and peace. And that's something that you can physically feel.
I was attracted to it because it helped me, physically become stronger and more flexible and all that. But then I learned that running is a super intense exercise, and yoga is on the opposite end of that exercise spectrum. So it helped me to become more internal, and I started to reflect on the inside. And so I liked it. I liked the stillness. I liked the calmness. I liked what it did for me, just emotionally, kind of made me more level. So I think, along with that physical that drew me in, but the mental and the emotional and the spiritual kind of like kept me going. I think yoga was going to be for me, but it has given me so much of what I actually needed to counteract my intensity. It's like the perfect balance to that. So I would definitely say try it. You don't have to be flexible. As a matter of fact, I'm not, and I'm a yoga teacher. I am like most people. So I feel like if you try it, you're going to see that it's going to open up a whole world for you that you didn't even know. I teach the Hot 26, the Bikram style. I teach a slow flow now, and power yoga, and just a regular like vinyasa flow, pretty much a lot of, the different styles.
We have a vinyasa class, which is like a flow style. And then I have a traditional hot, which is the Bikram series, what most people know it as. It can be misconstrued as something that you have to master in postures, in form or aesthetics, especially with nowadays in Instagram. But it's far from that. It's very much about how you feel inside of the form, inside of the postures, and you essentially use your body as that vessel. So your body is the container, and then we just change the container, the shape, and see how we show up as people inside of it. And then, adding elements of open-eyed meditation, or adding elements of heat, or breathing practices that sort of ramps up the opportunity for you to connect with yourself. Big, small, mighty, weak, old, creaky bones, flexible, whatever it is, everyone can do yoga. So bringing more mindfulness, that's really what it's all about. And understand that just like babies run the gamut of all of their emotions, they ride the highs, they ride the lows, they ride the neutrals. And yoga to me has brought that back into my life, where it's okay to feel the highs, it's okay to feel the lows and the neutrals, but to not get lost within them. So feeling them, but not being a prisoner to the emotions, instead letting them come through the way that they need to, so that they can actually have a healing effect. The breath is such a huge tool in the practice that I always think of it like the carabiner. So it's a carabiner that hooks onto your brain and hooks onto your body. And when you actually utilize your breath, you get that mind-body connection. Because what it does on a physical level is actually connect through the central nervous system a communication highway through your spine of what's happening here, what's happening down there, and how can we get on the same page together. I deeply urge you to give it a shot, especially if you are afraid, and especially if you feel like you are not right for yoga. It is even more right for you.
Just for me personally, I can tell you that it's really, really helped me to be able to deal with everyday life. As a school teacher, I spend a lot of time standing every day. It's very, very hard on your joints. It tends to give you very, very poor posture. So the spinal strengthening that we do in yoga has had major, major benefits for me. And then as someone who's always struggled with their weight, I've always been overweight since childhood. And I've always really, really struggled to find what they call a plateau. Like just a level that I felt comfortable within myself, that my body felt comfortable. And since I've been practicing yoga, I can say that I finally found that plateau. Without doing all of these crazy fad diets and things like that, I finally found a healthy way to just maintain a weight that really, really works for me. It's become a lifestyle for me. It's had amazing, amazing benefits for me in all areas of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally. It's just been very, very beneficial for me. Oh, you're too heavy, you're too out of shape, oh, it's for skinny people, oh, it's for thin people, it's for in shape people and this and that, and I had 1,000 excuses. I just felt this lightness, not just physically, but emotionally. And it was just a really, really like a true breath of fresh air that I hadn't felt in a really, really long time. You'll never meet a yoga community or a community that's like your yoga community. A lot of people talk about being non-judgmental. They talk about accepting you as you are. But the yoga community truly, truly does. I've never been in an environment like this that could be competitive, but it's not. Could be very, very superficial, but it's not. Everybody here truly, truly accepts you just as you are. And when you step into that room, no one else matters. It's really, really all about you. And they don't just say it. It's not some cliche. They live it. You walk into that room, you realize, oh wow, nobody is even looking in your direction. Like it is just the time for you to take an hour that is all for yourself. It is all about you. No judgment, no expectations, no limits. You try anything, you do anything, and it's just the most encouraging and just judgmental-less, I don't know if that's a word, but let's go with it. Just the least judgmental environment that I've ever been in, and I'm really, really thankful for it. If you haven't tried yoga, for whatever reason, try it. Whether you've been inactive for years like I was, give it a whirl. If you're somebody who works out and exercises every day, from what I understand, for people that are really, really athletic, it's a great way for you to stretch your muscles, strengthen your body in a way that maybe your typical exercise routine doesn't give you. Listen, if you have a stressful job, if you're a mom that's like always thinking of everybody else, you don't take any time for yourself, just whatever. Yoga is really for everybody. I believe the motto here is like yoga for the people, and that's it. So let me just say this, if you're people, you need to try yoga.
Yoga has actually changed my life. It comes at us a million miles a minute. Right? We live in a very different world than it was even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And what the yoga actually helped me do was stop and take a look at myself and just give me a moment. That hour class or that 90-minute class gave me time to lock out the outside world and just deal with myself. For Hot On Yoga and Yoga to the People. So I teach mainly in New York and in Florida, but I've had the privilege of teaching in every studio that Yoga to the People has across the world. The biggest misconception that I get confronted with, people tend to think of yoga as a religion. To me, it was a place for me to connect with myself and help me slow down my mind and make better choices in life. And I feel like whatever helps you make better choices in life are the things you should do. So the yoga really helped me in that way.